Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College. We have an interesting show planned for you today, and we're going to start with something a little bit serious about planning. For families, it's very difficult when we lose loved ones, whether they're young or whether they're old. It's still the same. It still hurts, and there's a lot of planning to do. And so we've invited Becky Loya, who is a sales manager for Dignity Memorial. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
And then, of course, Luis Valdez, you are the manager of the locations, or what is your title?
I'm an assistant location manager, and I'm also a funeral director for one of our locations.
Very good. You see, he's got an important
Yes, yes, he sure does.
the important title.
That's why I brought him along with me.
That's great. Now, tell me a little bit about yourselves. It's interesting to me how you get involved in this career of services for funerals.
Absolutely. No one ever seeks out to be in this industry, and I definitely believe, and Luis could definitely attest to this, is the industry seeks you out. And for me personally, it started off with the loss of my grandmother and how we had to scramble to find everything. We had to figure out what she wanted, what was she going to wear, the whole thing. And I just, it was a real true calling, because it just came to me as like, how does one organize all of this?
How can I help?
How can I help? And I've had a very long history within the sales industry, and a friend of mine actually got into this industry right before I did, and they're like, you know what, they're starting another pre-planning team. And I go, what's that? And it just kind of just developed from there, and that's how I started in this industry.
And Luis?
And I actually started in this industry. I was working as a part-time employee where I was helping during the services and visitations, and from there it just kind of developed.
Yours developed like a promotion.
Yes.
You were probably doing a great job.
Yes,
That's
so
good.
I've done a little bit of everything. I've helped the families during their services. I learned the office part of it as well. Finally went to school to become a funeral director, and
Amazing.
like Becky said, it's definitely a calling.
There's a lot of things involved, and there's so many choices, and that's good that we have choices of funeral homes.
Yes.
But tell me about, in generic terms, about pre-planning options, and then I also want you to help me with that personal guide.
Personal planning guide, absolutely. So when one finally decides to open up and want to start their pre-planning services, they're just, how do I do this? And we have 8 different locations here in El Paso that we're able to help you out with. And the first thing is, how does one start pre-planning? And how they start pre-planning is contacting one of us. A family service counselor would either go to your home, or you could even, if you feel comfortable, coming to one of our locations, and we just sit down and have a real conversation of what your actual wishes are. Because at the time of need, we're really thinking with our heart, not really much with our head. And so we want to make sure that we get everything clear as far as the style of services, because there's different styles of services, whether it's traditional burial, meaning you'd be laid to rest in the dirt, or cremation services. Now, you had asked me before, can cremation services maybe see someone before they actually pass? And we most definitely can. So there's 3 things we do during an appointment. We want to make sure we take all the time that we can with you to answer all and any question.
And when you're saying with whom you're talking to the person before they pass.
Correct.
So that their wishes can be fulfilled.
Exactly. And the way that we do that is with this right here. This is our personal planning guide, and we do these, and this is a free gift to anyone that comes into any of our locations, and we have them in English and we have them in Spanish. It's a comprehensive journal that'll answer 95% of all the questions someone will have at the time of need. So even up to what mom's and grandma's middle name, first name, last name, birthday. I mean, it really goes into such great detail for when, at the time of need, when they go to Luis, they have everything written down, so they're not scrambling.
Yes.
The second thing that we do is we want to make sure that we find a right plan that's going to meet your family's needs. So whether it's going to the traditional route of burial or the cremation route. Because even with having cremation services, you can most definitely lay those ashes to rest.
Yes.
And then we also have, because since we have a lot of veterans here in El Paso, we have our personal planning guide for the veterans, which is our veterans guide. So we're able to give these to all of our vets to make sure they get all of the information that's out there, because there's a lot of misconceptions, especially among veterans, of what their benefits they may have at the time of need. So we want to make sure that everyone gets out there, because we want to honor all our vets, especially since we just celebrated
Veterans Day in
Yes,
November.
exactly. So we want to make sure that they're honored to the fullest, and that's why we have our veterans planning guide.
You know, are you one of the largest of the funeral homes?
Well,
The Dignity?
Yes, we actually have over 2,000 locations all in North America. And like I said, we have actually 8 funeral homes here in El Paso and 3 cemeteries as well.
Very good. And the locations are
So we actually
at different
have,
parts of town?
we actually have basically a funeral home in all locations of El Paso. We have on the west side, Upper Valley. We have some down in the Lower Valley, Central, Northeast. We also have our east side locations, and then we have our newest facility, which is out in Far East El Paso as well.
I'm sure that as a director, sometimes things don't go as planned for whatever reason. So hopefully that you in your career choice will be able to smooth out those kinds of things, you know. So
Of course.
So, you know, I was just wondering if there's something special. I know that it's difficult for people to talk about funerals. We don't want to.
No, we don't. But it's definitely something we would love to have everyone be open about. It is a little scary at first, but we want to make sure that with time we're able to pre-plan all of our service, because it not only takes care of the financial part, but it also takes care of the most important is the emotional part.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that everything is done to those utmost needs that someone will have at their time of need.
And I wanted to ask you, you know, recently there are no more processions because there's not sheriff, you know, officers or police officers available. Do you work with families if they do want a procession?
We do. We actually have our contacts with the police department, where if we are able to secure those police escorts, definitely, you know, we do what we can to make sure that we get everyone there safely, and most importantly, you know, together to honor their loved one's life.
Now, there's a phone number where we can call. How can they contact
Yes,
you?
they could contact us, and they could get a personal planning guide absolutely for free, so they could start up their services. It's at 915-996-5533.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a local number. And
It
that's
is
always
a local number, yes, ma'am, and it'll answer 24 hours a day if they need any help, whether it is for pre-need service or for at-need services. Our different 8 locations, and then we also have our 3 cemeteries as well.
I've always noticed how courteous the employees are of funeral homes and how gentle they are with family members. I admire that, you know, so much, and we thank you for serving our community, our families, and we hope you continue with great success.
Thank
course.
you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for having us on, Mari.
Well, we'll be back with more information. Be sure and call that number if you want information about funeral services or pre-planning. It's really important. We'll be back. Well, thank you for staying with us. I promised we were going to give you good information. How many of us have gone to rehab and maybe had a very positive experience? And that's what we want for our community, for anybody that has had surgery, as I have with my total knee replacement, and how we can get back to our normal lives and do everything that we used to do before. So we have invited D.Campos, who is the business development for the Piedras Rehabilitation Clinic.
Yes, ma'am. How are you? Good morning.
Thank you for being here,
Of course,
Daniel.
thank
And
you.
then this is your first time also, Lynette Lomarquez, who is the owner and the physical therapist there.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
inviting us.
Thank you. Tell me how we can begin the conversation of how we get referrals for physical therapy and about your facility and where it's located.
Great. So I'll go ahead and start off. So originally, you know, from the past, a patient would actually have to follow up with their primary physician to actually be referred out to physical therapy. As of October 31st, there's actually, or first I should say, there's actually a new law where a patient can actually follow up with our clinic, can actually be eval'd, and upon following up with their physical or with their primary physician at that point, and to obtain the order to continue services.
And that's good because all of us, I mean, not all of us can do things at home. You need
Right.
machines, and you've got
Exactly, yes.
equipment.
Correct.
You've got the professionals like Lynette, that physical therapist. Tell me about your services as far as your equipment that's available there.
Definitely. So we do have different, exercise equipment. We have different weights. We do have our SciFit machines, to improve on weakness, balance,
Yes.
and everything like
Yes.
that. Lateral movements as well. And the services are obviously physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and pain management as well.
Very
Pain management
good.
is one of our big focal points. So,
Is it? Oh my
yes, yes, ma'am.
gosh. Well, I need some speech therapy. Tell me a little bit about dry needling.
Dry needle is a new method. It actually is a little bit invasive, but it's evidence-based. So we try to insert a needle through the skin and to the muscle to increase mobility, decrease pain, and restore function. So it kind of looks like an acupuncture needle. There's no holes in it. It's a solid needle. And then we stimulate the muscle with it. So we stick it with an electrical stimulator.
Oh yeah.
It's very effective. I've used it on a lot of our patients,
And it's worked.
and it seems to have good
Good
Very
results.
feedback,
Huh?
yes.
Very
Oh
good
wow.
results.
Yes.
Is this something new that you're
It is.
providing?
Yes. There's very few clinicians that are specializing in dry needle. So come try us out.
That's it. Piedras Rehab Clinic, and I wondered about the Piedras
name and the
because
location.
because you're located on George Dieter,
Correct.
near
Uh-huh.
Pelicano, and
Yes.
so it's just because it rocks or something.
Right. It rocks.
The
It's
place
dirty,
rocks.
Yes.
Okay, now seniors like myself, my biggest fear is two biggest fears. One is falling, and the other one's Alzheimer's. So falling, fall
Yes.
prevention is really important for you all. Tell me how you address that with your clients.
Actually, when clients comes in, most of our clients is 80%, I would say, above 65.
Yes.
So we actually evaluate and design a program to strengthen their legs, make sure that their balance are good, especially even with patients with chronic diseases like arthritis. That's actually
Yes.
one of the reasons that patients fall because of pain.
Yeah.
So we use dry needle. Most of the time, we'll use like probably a hot pack, an electrical stimulator.
Oh yeah.
It decreases the pain. And when after the evaluation, that's when we can actually design that plan.
Okay. Very
Yes.
good. And so are doctors pretty satisfied with the results that you all have done with their patients?
Most definitely, yes. A lot of our doctors that do refer to us, our close contacts, are actually amazed by the results. A lot of the patients love our therapists, I should say.
Lynette, yeah,
Yes,
Miss
Lynette.
Lomarquez,
you, yes.
yes.
So there's great feedback, amazing results, some great feedback, and the doctors are in love with our results. So
Very good.
definitely.
Exercise is so important. Activity, moving. Sometimes I say my pet, my Sammy, my doggy takes me out for a walk, and that's really important that we
It is.
move.
Yes.
Whether we can do it, the best we can, do the best you can. Tell me about exercise and how important that is.
It is very important. It increases strength, increases function. It actually boosts energy, and confidence of the patient because you're stronger. You're probably walking better. It also,
Just the mental
yes.
wellness overall.
yes.
And it sends blood to the brain, I understand, when you
Yes,
exercise in your heart.
Decreases incidence of heart attacks.
Oh,
Of course,
yes.
yes.
It's very important for seniors. And so, physical therapy, how did you get involved in physical therapy? And tell me about your career.
Well, actually, I graduated in 1988. I used to work as a faculty member of my alma mater, Southwestern University in the Philippines. I've done a stint in Sun Towers way back when.
Yes.
In 1992, that's where I started in El Paso. I love physical therapy. I like geriatrics. I really felt like I could connect with the elderly.
Seniors.
There's so many things that they can talk about that,
Yes.
amazing experiences that they can share with you.
And you have a young
I have a
program
young- yes.
development guy in business
Yes.
development.
Mhm.
He's out there talking
Market.
to doctors. What is it about your career that you like?
To be honest, I love being an advocate, for the community, being involved with, with all, types of businesses and organizations in a sense, to be an advocate for patients, for the elderly, communicating and representing our company, I should say, to the utmost with the doctors, in our community. But beyond that, just helping, an everyday patient, making sure they do get all their needs,
Make that
and
happen.
making sure that we can, assist them in anything, in any way, shape, or form that we can.
Very good. Now let's give your location and a phone number, your contact information, because I know
Okay.
there's people. Maybe I'm not asking the
It's a
right
little bit
questions. They probably
confused.
want me to ask something different, but they can always
No.
call you.
Yes.
What is your phone number, Juana?
Our phone number is 915-704-4065.
Very good. And of course, you can always call Daniel Campos, Business Development,
yes.
at the same place. Your address.
Our address is 1505 George Jeter. It's Suite 112.
Very good. Well,
Yes.
thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having
I'm sure
us.
that our viewers probably have better questions than I asked, but that's okay. They can call you,
No, yes,
and
no
I know
problem.
Thank you.
you'll answer. Thank you for
Thank
for
you
serving
so
our
much.
community.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
be
you
in
so much.
touch with
You
our
betcha.
different
Absolutely.
programs that we have through the senior
Yes.
adult program,
Most definitely.
because you love
Yes.
geriatrics and you love
Yes,
seniors
I-
there.
Most
Thank you
definitely.
so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
And we'll be back with more guests. Well, thank you for staying with us. We have one more interview to share with you, and a topic that is so important to our community, especially for our seniors that are homebound. And so we've invited Rosalba Hernandez, who is a program manager for the community services, the county community services department nutrition program.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
you did.
And you're a regular here, so I
Thank
love
you.
talking to you because I don't have to ask many questions. She just goes
Yeah.
right into it. Thank you for bringing Patricia Jaramillo.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Tell me your title and who you work for, Patricia.
My name is Patricia Jaramillo. I'm with the Health and Human Services, Community Care Services Eligibility. It is a mouthful.
Yes.
And I am the program manager for Region 10.
Very good. And of course, your boss, we know William.
Yes, Mr. Fuller. William
Mr.
Fuller is our regional director for Region 10 for the Community Care Services Eligibility Program.
So I guess I'll begin with the program. We'll start with the home delivered meals, and then you're the funder. So then we
Yes.
want to ask you some questions too. Tell us, Rosalba, about the home delivered meals.
Yes, well, we have the county nutrition program, does have two separate programs, one the congregate program and one the home delivered. And so we're here to speak about the home delivered because I've got some good news, Mary.
Yes, what is
Yes,
it?
we've got some
exactly?
good news. We've got some additional funding to use for fiscal year 20, which we are now in that year.
Okay.
And we want our entire community to know about this because you know what? Somebody out there has a grandma, has a neighbor, has a grandpa, has a widower who cannot come out to one of the centers and eat. And why not see if they can be eligible for a home delivered meal? They'll get a free meal Monday through Friday, a noontime meal. And that, to many individuals, Perry, helps them avoid going to a nursing home
Yes.
because they have no food to eat.
You know what really amazes me about your program is how many meals you prepare and deliver, whether through the centers, the senior centers, nutrition centers,
Yes.
or at home. Oh my God, so many.
Yes. We, on an average, we serve 2,400 meals per day.
Can you
And we're
Yes.
growing.
Yes, they're
And
very
we're
busy.
growing. So,
Wow. And
so
you've got
yes.
extra money, and who is giving you that money? Oh, right, Patricia, here's where you come in.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
funder, you're
Yes.
helping this
Yes. And so, like Rosalba mentioned, we're here today, to bring awareness of this program, this very important program, so that individuals can take advantage and apply for this particular program. As Rosalba said, it is a nutritious meal that is delivered to individuals in their home, typically for individuals who are homebound, who have difficulty leaving their home.
Yes.
So it's a great program for our seniors, for individuals that are persons with disabilities.
Yes. And so, how does one apply or qualify for a program like this? Are there eligibility requirements?
Yes, there are eligibility requirements. So the Health and Human Services, we have case managers who determine eligibility for this service. So the case managers will either go out to the individual's home or they can do an assessment over the phone. So the assessment is a tool that we use to determine the needs of their functional needs.
Yes.
And so what they do is they use this tool to determine a score. The minimum score is a 20. And so that's one of the main components. So the other components are that the individuals be 18 years of age or older. They must live in Texas, regardless of citizenship or duration of residency. And then there's no income or resource eligibility. So we don't look at.
It's just based on need.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can be any age
18 years of age or older.
or older.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That is amazing. And
Yes.
so where did we get the money? I don't know how that worked. The appropriations?
Well, it's through their federal block grants that
Oh, the
administer
block
this money. Yes, ma'am.
That's so good.
Yes.
That is so good for this community. So how many more will we be serving? Maybe.
We are hoping right now we serve home delivered approximately 1,400 per day. So we're hoping to add about 100 more people
Oh, that's
to this.
Yes.
But Mary, you said one thing prior to our interview today is our census. I'm going just alone on the census of 2010 when we had 108,285 seniors in our El Paso community. This upcoming census is going to reveal many more. We are not yet tapping into many of our seniors, and this is the venue that we use to tap into our senior population, our persons with disabilities who also can benefit from this home delivered meal. This is our venue, and we thank you for having us here because
And we
reach out.
must encourage seniors and family members to register. Everyone in the family, whether they're 3 months old or 93 years old, we need to make sure, because that's how we get funding.
Yes.
That's
yes.
how we're appropriated,
Yes, ma'am.
based on citizenry and population. Free services. This is free.
Yes.
And I don't know if we mentioned that, but
Yes.
Yes.
you don't have to pay.
No, there's no criteria, for income or resource. We don't look at that. And like I said, as long as they meet the other criterias that are set by our department, then they can qualify for this home delivered meal
And
service.
this may be the only meal that a warm meal that a person would have if they live alone, if they don't have a caregiver. Their meal comes every day, and at least.
Yes.
And is that the goal?
Yes, definitely.
This is not only their only meal they get Monday through Friday, but it could be the only visit that they receive in the entire day, in the entire week.
So sometimes the person's delivering, get to stay a little bit, or how does
They're delivering within a 3-hour tight window. With our population growing, that window keeps getting smaller for them. But you know what? Even if it's a quick hello, señora, ¿cómo está? Hola, ¿cómo amaneció?
Yes.
Are
that
you doing
brightens
okay?
up.
Yes.
Here's your meal, and the
Yes.
smile, just
Yes.
Yes, and then our case managers will continue to do oversight, and so they contact them every 6 months to make sure that they're doing well and that their needs are being met through the program. And of course, identify any other areas that they might need as well. So our case managers are in contact with them, not as often as Rosalba's staff, but definitely we contact them every 6
we
months.
congratulate all of us.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we all have a little something to do with the successes we have in reaching our seniors, making sure they're healthy, they have the nutrition that they
Yes.
need. Nobody needs to go hungry in this
Nobody.
community,
No,
and
nobody.
thanks to you as professionals in these
Thank you.
programs. Where can they contact you? I guess we'll start with Patricia here.
Well, they can contact our Community Care Services Eligibility Intake Line. It is a 1-800 number. We have a dedicated intake line that is answered by our staff.
Okay.
And so it is here local in El Paso. I know that sometimes people get turned off when they hear a 1-800 number. So when they call that 1-800 number, one of our screener intake staff will take that call. and take their information so that we can go ahead and get it over to our case manager. And that number is 1-855-710-3237. Or they can visit our local field office at 5150 El Paso Drive. But probably the easiest way is to just contact our intake line here in El Paso.
It's good to know that that HHSC, I guess,
Yes.
is really people like you all that are taking care of our seniors. And then Rosalba's crew, what an amazing program that you're running through the county nutrition program, nutrition division. Thank you, Rosalba, and your staff
Thank
for being
you.
so efficient. Where can they reach you?
They can reach us at 915-546-8167 or 546-8168.
Well, if you want to get the word out to the seniors, I think this is the program to do it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
We hope you get more than 100 calls.
Yes,
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 we will.
Yes, we
Okay.
will. Yes,
Thank you so much for being here. Very good. I guess that's it for this week. We'll see you all next week and bring you some other good information that our community needs to serve our elderly. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that with the Senior Adult Program, we offer free classes, tuition-free classes for seniors in technology, of course. The computers are very popular, learning to use their smartphones, the social media. Those classes are very popular. And so we want to remind everybody that the classes are ongoing, but if you will call our office at 915-831-7801, we can give you up to date, tell you when the next registration period is, and that seniors can take advantage of these classes. Grandmas, grandpas, neighbors, friends, mom and dad, if they're already 55 and older, you can join our classes. See you next week.